Midnight Magic Music family. I am the Earl of Florida, and I am your not-so-humble host. Today we're going to do a realm of reality on Blue Beetle, DC's Blue Beetle. One of the last movies to come out in the old DC extended universe. So, we're going to jump right in, and if you want to find out more about realm of reality, click up here, the magic of YouTube, and watch some of our others. But until then, here we go. Blue Beetle is the newest entry at the moment into the DC universe, the now defunct DC universe, and the short version is he's a guy that gets an armored suit, and he ends up fighting somebody that's also in an armored suit.
This is the Baron here. You're describing Iron Man with Robert Downey Jr. facing off against Jeff Bridges. It is Armored Man versus Armored Man. That is the movie you're describing.
No, we're talking about Blue Beetle. Thank you, Baron of Boomtown or Burntown or Barnyard. We don't know who you are anymore. But no, we're talking about Blue Beetle, not Iron Man. This is DC, not the MCU.
I am the Baron of Beetletown, and that is what you're describing. Iron Man, Iron Man, Iron Man.
Well, okay, so we're going to start this over so that our fans also know what's going on, and hopefully the Baron stays away. So, in this, again, starting over, a DC movie, again, it's the next class, the DC EU, we get to meet a young man who acquires tech that a former superhero used some of the tech from, and so it's a similar aspect, like a second generation almost of a Blue Beetle, and Blue Beetle will end up in the end fighting somebody with similar powers, similar abilities, and in this is pretty much the short version of what we're talking about here. And to go into it, we now have Blue Beetle, the young man.
You just described Ant-Man with Paul Rudd and Michael Douglas, and, well, Corey Stoll as Yellow Jacket. Because in there we have Ant-Man, who is a second-generation hero who comes in and takes on the mantle of Ant-Man, the previous portrayed by Michael Douglas, and battles the evil corporate person, Corey Stoll, who is Yellow Jacket. Same movie, same story. Get your facts straight. It's Ant-Man.
No, we're not talking about Ant-Man. This is Blue Beetle. I mean, I guess I can see how there could be some misconstrued, it's a second generation super, you know what, Baron? Bug off. See what I did there? That's funny. We're going to start over one more time without the Baron interrupting, and we're going to go through it the quick version, as baseball says. Understand? Are you okay with that, Baron?
If you get the story right, you can continue, and I won't be back. But you won't, and I will be back.
Okay, here we go. Are you ready? Because I am. Blue Beetle, the latest installment in the now finalized DCEU, even though there's one more coming, Aquaman, as I've already stated, and Baron interrupted me. But in this one, we have a young man, Jamie Reyes, who... okay, you know what? Yeah, there's some similarities, okay? Iron Man, yeah. There's some similarities, Ant-Man, Yellow Jacket, Ant-Man. Okay, we get it. There's similarities. But you know what? Copying somebody is the greatest form of flattery, right? Anywho, so in Blue Beetle, we get a young man who comes home from graduating college, and he finds his family dynamic is in a little bit of trouble financially. Issues going on, but we get introduced deeply to this, deep-seated family dynamic. And the first hour of this movie moves slow. And when I say move slow, I mean, I feel like I'm sitting on the Titanic going, iceberg ahead, 3 miles, trying to warn you. But the first hour or so does move very slow. You are introduced to the Blue Beetle Scarab, which is wait a minute. The Blue Beetle Scarab, which the original Blue Beetle that we learned later on in the movie, based a lot of his tech on, but they found the Blue Beetle Scarab at the beginning of the movie, so how did they base the tech on the Blue Beetle Scarab if they hadn't technically found the Scarab? I don't know. You know what? Ignore that. Let's just continue on. So this alien robotic thing attaches to him and bonds with him, and then
No! Now you're ripping off Sony and Marvel. This is Venom. You know, the alien symbiote that comes down and bonds with a human, Tom Hardy, so they can symbiotically fuse together to be We Are Venom. And they eat bad people, and they fight the evil symbiote just like them. You can't get anything right today, can you, Earl?
As I was saying, so we have where the Jamie bonds with the symbiote, mechanical symbiote, and in the end he fights Cord Industries led by the sister of Ted Cord, named Victoria, played by Susan Sarandon, who I love. And so we also meet her henchman, who he has a name, but it doesn't matter. He's just generic henchman guy, although the actor does bring a lot of gravitas to the situation, and you do get some undertone emotion from the henchman, which, like, I can kind of dig it. But either way, blah 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 blah. She wants the scarab. He can't give her the scarab. She's planning on having a giant army of scarab-esque people, mechanized soldiers that's going to fight with them. And
now you're ripping off Iron Man 2. It's Hammer, the Hammer Power, with all their robot droid army, headed up by Whiplash, of course. But now you're ripping off Iron Man 2, where Iron Man joined forces with War Machine, who isn't called War Machine yet. But either way, what you have is another Marvel ripoff. Can't you come up with anything normal, Earl? You're fired. Bring on Lord Cephas for all these videos from now on.
Yes, I get it, Baron. It's not Iron Man 2, but there does share certain similarities. So, the first half of the movie is slow and a little bit tedious and sluggish, a bit like this video, but if you get toward the end, you can get to the meat, and you actually enjoy the connections between the family and the emotion, and it picks up action, and it gets more fun, even though there's almost like a duplicate of the climax fight scene. But anywho, the short version is Victoria wants scarab so she can power all her bad guy things. Yes, Baron, like Iron Man 2, but in doing so, it'll kill Jamie and bastardize the whole ideology of this superhero and turn it into, war profiteering. Don't say it. I know. Stark Industries. Please, Baron, do not butt in again. And in the end, it becomes a fight between a young man who has idealistic morals and morality and loyalty and sees the difference between right and wrong, fighting against a conglomerate corporation that's looking for purely to make money and also to profit off of more profiteering. And so the bad guy is Susan Sarandon, obviously. The good guy is the young superhero. And they fight. Now, the thing that I do like at this, and it's a little bit of a spoiler, at the end, when Blue Beetle has the opportunity to kill the bad guy, when he could have done it multiple times earlier and chose not to, at this point he's so emotionally distraught and so angry and so upset and hurt because he lost.
You just can't help yourself. It's Spider-Man. It's Uncle Ben that died. You're ripping off Uncle Ben's last words. How dare you do this? Uncle Ben, Spider-Man, Miles Morales with his, it's Spider... You can't do it. You can't do it. Stop ripping off Spider-Man in the MCU, because that is what this is.
You know what? I don't want to talk about it. Not Uncle Ben, but it could be an Uncle Ben-esque hero because yes, his death helped spur Blue Beetle on. Thank you, Baron, for pointing that out and for not letting it anymore. But because of the pain and the hurt from that, he is willing to take that extra step to actually hand out a judgment of death and, kill the villain. But the Scarab, in this instance, is now paired with young Jimmy Reyes. And so he shows him the memories of who the person is and how, he's human. He has, suffered and he's hurt. So he doesn't end up killing. Even though the symbiote Scarab was going to let him choose to kill or not kill, Jamie Reyes chose not to in the end. And, so obviously, in this particular instance, the henchman turns on his handler, so to speak, Susan Sarandon, and it's a big boom, boom, boom at the end, and everybody lives happily ever after. The niece, the daughter of Tay Cord, is now in charge of Cord Industries. The house is being rebuilt of the Reyes home, and Jimmy Reyes is now a superhero. So, the first hour of the movie was sluggish and a little bit of a bear to get through. I actually stopped the movie about halfway through, and I was like, I'll watch the rest of it later. And a day or two later, I watched the second half, and I can say that the second half made up for the first one. So if I went to theaters to see it, I would not have walked out, and I would have been happier come the second half of the movie. Obviously, with the joys of being able to stream videos and movies at home, we're able to watch things at our pace.
Everybody knows you can watch videos from home now. Well, this isn't 1980 and, killer clowns from outer space. Watch a new video if you haven't. But come on, everybody, I can watch it. I can watch you from home too. And it's just disturbing, but stream for the win.
Thank you, Baron. We're all aware we can watch things from home, from streaming. Thank you for your announcement that we already knew. Moving on. So, Blue Beetle, I would give it about a 3.5 stars out of 5 stars. Mostly the first hour was a little bit of a struggle, tried to find its feet, tried to find its identity. But the second hour, I think, solidly found its footing, found its ground, was able to pull out of that little bit of quicksand that came from the first part of the storytelling. But, if I went to theaters to see this, obviously I would have stayed in there. I would have watched all 2 hours simultaneously, and I would not have rallied and said, I want my money back, like my mother and grandmother did for the Matthew Broderick Godzilla back in the day. But anywho, that's it for Blue Beetle. I want to thank my Midnight Magic Music family for watching and continuing to watching despite the interruptions by the Baron of Beetletown. You know what to do. If you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. If you want notifications, click that bell somewhere down here and get notified. And don't forget, leave a comment. Tell me I'm right. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me something, and I promise not to cry in the corner more than 5 minutes, because Lord knows the Baron will come back and assault y'all's senses, and I don't want y'all to have to suffer through that. I don't want to have to suffer through that. So again, I am the Earl of Florida, and this is Reality Blue Beetle. Thank you for watching. Catch you next time.